Hai, Assalamualaikum to Professor Dr. Azhar binti Samad. My name is Muhammad Amirul bin Muhammad Azri. Today, I use the method from chi-square test, which is test of homogeneity to solve my problem. Alright, for the chi-square test or homogeneity test, to see whether different columns or row of data in a table come from the same population. This will be your revision. Alright, if we look at the graph, for the right tail test, the null hypothesis is reject if the test statistic is too large. Thus, the rejection region for such a test consists of one part, which is right from the center. Alright, test homogeneity versus test independent. Why we want to compare this two method? For homogeneity, that test use two or more dependent sample, but at test of independent only use single dependent sample. For sampling type is same both method. For those homogeneity, they will use different in proportion, but the test independent use association between variable. Alright, from a survey was carried out, taking one sample of 31 response from the different types of occupation. We want to test the null hypothesis that the distribution of type in occupation are affect the body mass index range using alpha equal to 0.025% level of significance. If we can see for the types of occupation, we have a university student, school student, worker, or we can say employee, and pension, and last but not least, housewife. Which is for step 1, formulate the hypothesis. We need to test the hypothesis. Alright, H null, the proportion of types in occupation are affect the body mass index range. Okay, for H1, which is we have the proportion of type in occupation are not affect the body mass index range. For step 2, compute the statistic. The following table lists by the daily habits distribution for a sample of 31% who have a different body mass index. Observe frequency, and we need to find the expected frequency. How we can find the expected frequency? Alright, I will tell you this one. For find the expected frequency, we need to total row multiplied by 8, which is column row, and total row is 10, and then we need to divide by 66, and we get 1.2 for university underweight 1 for observed frequency. And then when we get expected frequency, need to find the random variable using sigma O minus E power of 2 over E, which is O is observed frequency and E is expected frequency. And then we need to add all of value we get from observed minus expected power of 2 over expected frequency, and we get 3.9 for the random variable. Okay, step 3, find the critical value or critical region. Okay, this one we need to find the degree of freedom first, which is R minus 1, which is R is row, and C minus 1, which is C is column. R minus 1 multiplied by C minus 1, and we get 4 for R and 5 for column. And for the last answer, for degree of freedom, we have 12. And then area to the right of the tail is we use to alpha 0.025. Thus, the critical value from the F table we get 23.337. And for the step 4 is a decision rule. The test statistic 3.9 does not fall into the critical region, which is 23.337, and thus unable to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, for the conclusion, step 5, we have not enough evidence to say that the proportion of type in occupation affect the body mass index range for critical value. Alright, we can see the aspect the sorry the we can see the random variable not fall in critical value region. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Bin Rosbert alias Muhammad. Today I would like to discuss one of the method that our group use to test our data. The method that I am discussing today is hypothesis test. Okay, first and foremost, before making a hypothesis test, we must make a null hypothesis, which we use average Malaysian adult body mass index or BMI, and one alternative hypothesis, which is average BMI of the sample that we use. After that, we calculate the data that we needed. First, we calculate the mean and standard deviation. After that, we use the mean and standard deviation to run a z-test to determine whether the mu is true or not. Okay, after that, this is the calculation that we run. Then we can make a conclusion. The body mass index of the data that we use, the sample that we use, is indeed a normal BMI of an average Malaysian adult. That's all from me. Thank you.
In this research, we also use parameter estimation. Estimation is the procedure by which a numerical value or values are assigned to a population parameter based on the information collected from a sample. So, by using this method, we can identify the average weight for the Malaysian population and also show evidence where the Malaysian population suffers from weight problems because Malaysia is a country with obesity problem in Southeast Asia. By using a 95% confidence interval, we were able to identify the average weight of 31 samples from the Malaysian population over a period of 2 years. Firstly, we calculate the mean by the data given. After we find the mean, we calculate the parameter estimation with 95% confidence interval and the standard deviation is 2 years. So we can get the parameter estimation which is between 65.2315 and 66.6395. By using parameter estimation, we can identify the average range weight of Malaysian people based on the 31 sample collected. So, people in Malaysia should consider eating according to the food pyramid in order to avoid obese.